So I wouldn't put it past that. I wouldn't put it past that if people are doing that.
Jason, you got one more for us today?
Yes.
While you're followed around by that gray sedan everywhere you go.
Oh boy. Want to volunteer, you guys? That's right. Because these Delaware community events give you weed in exchange for help. When it came time to present the pot grant, the ganja, or bestow the bud, however you want to say it, the organizers of Delaware's first Joints for Junk decided to hand out the promised pre-rolls at the start of the 2-hour trash cleanup in Merrillsboro this fall. While the Delaware Cannabis Advocacy Network has been organizing community events ever since its founding back in 2013, this was the first time it was doing one since marijuana was legalized in Delaware 8 months ago. So the nonprofit advocacy group brainstormed a new way to attract volunteers, give out grass. And they didn't even wait until the volunteers put in the work first. Oh, man, I feel like Hunter Biden had something to do with this because it's in Delaware. People pre-registered, showed up, signed a waiver, and we gave them a joint, says Zoe Patchell, president of Delaware Can. And actually, nobody took the joint and left. It was a really positive, inspiring day. That's in quotes. Once they landed on the catchy event name, they had to find a location for the community service project, eventually landing in Millsboro, the Sussex County town of about 7,000, whose council had just voted to prohibit the sale and manufacturing of marijuana, in quotes. There was a significant community support there while we were involved in opposing the vote, so it just seemed like a great place to do it, Patchell says. So, did the cannabis giveaway work? It sure did. The event even drew more than 50 volunteers over the age of 21, with each getting a pre-rolled joint, which was donated by members of the nonprofit group. Under the new Delaware law, anyone can gift an adult up to an ounce of marijuana, in quotes. It was probably one of the best turnouts for a community service project, Patchell says, adding that volunteers didn't light up on site, and there were a number of new people we had never met before, and a few of them even became members. More than 24 bags of trash were collected from the area surrounding the Millsboro Town Center and the same place where the town council voted against marijuana just 6 weeks prior at November 6th public hearing. From 10 a.m. to noon, 6 teams were deployed in fluorescent yellow vests to pick up any garbage they found using large garbage bags and bags of the same color. While there were no issues reported on their first Joints for Junk project, some residents came out from their homes to ask what was happening as they saw the brightly dressed volunteers roaming the neighborhood. It was a really positive reception, Patchell says. We just told them we were here to make Millsboro more green. And Delaware Can usually hosts 2 major community cleanups each year and is planning another Joints for Junk event this spring. Expect the same setup as in Millsboro and come out and help and receive some reefer for your time. So where will the next one be? They haven't locked in the location just yet. And in quotes, they say, we just want to show everyone that cannabis consumers care about the community, and a lot of the negative stereotypes are simply not true, says Patchell, whose group is now working on expanding expungement, increasing access for medical patients, home cultivation, and more. We care just like everybody, they say. Well. Joints for Junk, you guys. A whole bunch of trash. And it's probably trash weed that they gave out too. But what do you guys think?
Joints for Junk.
I think it's a great idea. Joints for anything.
It's like Cash for Conkers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Joints for Junk. What do you guys?
I think
if you had all the weed,
if you had all to do with Delaware, the Bidens I want to stay away from.
If you had,
I was going to leave the Biden name out of this because you were talking about Delaware and everything.
To me, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
It is. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I'm just saying.
Me too.
I just wonder, since it was so much junk, okay, if they put it in their trunk, were they advertising that they had junk in the trunk?
Oh.
I don't know.
A dad joke from a guy who's not even a dad.
Yes, that's right.
So he says.
Yes.
So he says.
Mm-hmm.
You sure do have a rather a large affinity for dad jokes. Just saying, Jason. Just saying.
Jason's a great uncle. Uncle Jason's amazing. You know,
Uncle Jason.
He's the